When I opened the door that evening, I didn't expect to see her standing there. The woman who once promised me forever and then tore it all apart. Olivia. My ex-wife. The same woman who'd packed her bags 2 years ago, leaving nothing behind except a ring on the kitchen counter and a note that read, "I need to find myself." She looked different now, older, thinner, with that same desperate sparkle in her eyes that used to charm anyone who didn't know her the way I did. She tried to smile, but her lips trembled. "Hey Ethan," she said softly. "You look good." I didn't smile back. "What are you doing here?" Her eyes darted past me, scanning the hallway like she was searching for something familiar. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Just for a minute." Part of me wanted to shut the door right there. But curiosity is a dangerous thing, especially when it's tied to unfinished pain. So I stepped aside. "Make it quick." She walked in slowly, like the house still remembered her. And maybe it did. Every corner of it still carried her ghost, the scent of her favorite candles, the faint outline of picture frames she'd once filled with our smiles. We sat across from each other in the living room. She kept fidgeting with her hands, glancing up only when she thought I wasn't looking. "I've been thinking about us," she began. "About what we had. You were always good to me, Ethan. Better than I deserved." I stayed quiet. I'd learned that silence often tells more truth than words ever could. Then she said it. The line she must have rehearsed 100 times before showing up at my door. "You're my soulmate." I almost laughed. Soulmate. The word sounded heavy coming from someone who had once said she didn't believe in marriage anymore. I leaned back in my chair, studying her face. "Really? That's what you came here to say?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "I made mistakes," she whispered. "I thought I knew what I wanted, but it wasn't real. None of it was." I walked away from the only person who ever actually cared about me. I took a slow breath, then asked the question I already knew the answer to. "Did he use you and disappear?" Her silence said everything. She looked away, her jaw tightening, her hands shaking. And in that moment I realized something. She hadn't come back because she missed me. She came back because life had finally taught her what I never could. She didn't answer right away. Her lips trembled as if the truth was clawing its way out, but her pride kept it locked in. I leaned back against the doorframe, watching the woman who had once been my whole world now standing like a stranger on my porch. "He left you, didn't he?" I said quietly. She blinked fast, the way people do when they're about to cry but don't want to give you that satisfaction. "It's not like that," she finally muttered. "Then tell me what it's like," I said, my tone sharper now. "Tell me how the man you left your marriage for suddenly vanished. Tell me how the fairy tale ended." Her silence said everything. I had guessed right. The man she had chosen over me, the one she'd called her true soulmate, had used her and disappeared. She shifted uncomfortably, trying to regain control of the conversation. "I made mistakes," she said. "But I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted." I laughed bitterly. "No, you knew exactly what you wanted. You wanted the thrill, the attention, the chase. And when reality hit, when he stopped giving you that, you remembered me." Tears finally rolled down her cheeks, but I felt nothing. There was a time when her tears could break me. Not anymore. "Ethan, please," she whispered. "I can't go back there. I can't face my family. I thought I could build something real with him, but it was all lies. He used me." Her voice cracked. "He made me believe he loved me." I studied her face. The exhaustion, the regret, the fragility. "And what do you want from me?" I asked calmly. "Forgiveness? Shelter? Or just someone to remind you of the version of yourself you ruined?" She swallowed hard, unable to meet my eyes. "I want you," she said finally. "I want the peace I had with you." I shook my head. "You didn't want peace. You wanted chaos dressed as love." She stepped closer, her perfume still the same, but now it only carried the scent of memories I wanted to forget. "I know I don't deserve it," she whispered. "But I miss you." I took a deep breath. "You miss the man who loved you unconditionally," I said. "But that man doesn't exist anymore. You destroyed him when you walked away." She closed her eyes, her body trembling. "Please," she said softly, "don't hate me." "I don't," I replied. "But I can't love you either." For a long moment we stood there in silence, two people bound by memories but separated by choices. She glanced at the photo frame on the hallway table, The one that still held a picture of us from better days. You still keep that? She asked, her voice trembling. I looked at it too. No, I said quietly. I just never bothered to throw it away. It reminds me of who I used to be. The man who believed love was enough. Her eyes softened. You were always enough, she whispered. I was just too blind to see it. I let out a low sigh. Then why are you here now, Laura? Because he broke you? Or because you realized I was the only one who truly loved you? She didn't answer, and in that silence, the truth screamed louder than any words could. Finally she said, he took everything, Ethan. My money, my confidence, my peace. I thought he cared for me. He promised me a life full of excitement, said I was his everything, until I wasn't. He blocked me, disappeared, and left me with nothing but shame. Her voice cracked again. And when I looked around for comfort, the only person I could think of was you. I exhaled slowly. You ran toward a man who told you what you wanted to hear, and away from the man who told you the truth. She nodded weakly. I know, she whispered. And that's what hurts the most. I walked past her toward the door. Laura, I forgave you long ago. But forgiveness isn't the same as wanting you back. Her face fell. So that's it? She asked. After everything we had? After everything you destroyed? I corrected gently. You didn't just cheat on me, Laura. You made me question my worth. You made me believe I wasn't enough. But now, I know I was more than enough. You just weren't ready for real love. She covered her face with her hands, her sobs quiet and broken. I reached for the door handle. Take care of yourself, I said softly. And next time someone calls you their soulmate, make sure they mean it. She looked up, eyes red and glistening. Do you still think of me? She asked desperately. I paused, then smiled faintly. Sometimes, I said. But only as a lesson. And with that I closed the door. Behind it I could still hear her crying, the sound of regret echoing down the hallway. But for the first time in years my heart was quiet.